Hi there. Wish you a very happy new year and a warm wintry welcome to my channel Solilog Quest. I call this podcast series as Gist, where I make video logs of what I read, watch, enjoy, talk about thoughts, questions, and general stuff. Today I am at a seaside town called Winthrop near Boston. It's a peninsula with a strip of land jutting out into the sea and water on three sides. At the edge of this peninsula is an island called Deer Island, which has a huge water treatment plant with a trail and scenic spot to go to and enjoy the sea view overlooking amazing sunset and Boston skyline. So, as you notice, these are the books I would be covering in a three-part series. These books are Burnout, The Power of Regret, and Laziness Does Not Exist. Feel free to join in and be a part of this quest to find out more about these books. While these books might appear different, but I chose these as they seemed quite connected to our well being, which is obvious from their titles. More so, the premise and the perspectives presented by the respective authors seemed fresh and quite relevant to our current milieu and social being. It was a bit surprising to me to be oblivious to certain aspects of the three common traits that these books highlight, which are fatigue, laziness, and regrets. These exist hidden from us right under our skin, our facade of modern living. Well, that's what made me pick these to begin the year with. Alright, without further ado, let's begin by taking the bull of laziness by its horns of a dilemma. I know, a bit of wordplay there, but here it goes. I don't know about you, but I think I suffer from great bouts of laziness and then spells of overworked routines. I find it difficult to balance, and I find myself drained either way. While I understood being exhausted due to stress and long hours, what this book gave me is a perspective which I think I was missing. It is the answer to the fatigue experienced even when I wallow in the apparent comfort of my laziness. This book was published in 2021. In the backdrop of COVID, we all experienced overabundance of idleness and then resulting anxieties. While the title kind of evokes a certain intriguing challenge to commonly existing laziness all around us, the author, who's a social psychologist and a professor at Loyola College, Chicago, exposes the stigma around laziness and begins the first chapter by dropping the truth bombs. Well, then second chapter onwards, the author nudged, in fact pushed me to develop fresh look at laziness, the notions of work, morality, self-worth, relationships, and so on. The word laziness has its roots in old German and English languages, and it roughly meant weakness or fake, giving the modern day lazy person the stigma of either being weak or faking it to get by easily without hard work. Now, that part, hard work, has its roots in Puritan thinking, which propounded the God chosen person to work hard and be rewarded with salvation. Even the evangelical prosperity doctrine endorsed on the same lines the idea to serve Jesus to achieve wealth and transcend suffering. Colonialism also played its role in associating laziness and morality as they needed human labor from enslaved mass of people to work for them, and thus needed to keep them motivated with something so esoteric that's beyond challenge. With industrialization, that blunt enslavement transformed into laborious jobs and hard work became a virtue, a moral goodness. This attitude was adopted into the early developmental years of education in schools as well, drilled the culture of studying hard, scoring higher marks, instead of focusing on actual learning of skills and building rational thinking. People began taking pride in being tagged with adjectives such as laborious, industrious, diligent, dependable, super efficient, multitasking. Work centric life took over everything. Laziness began to be typecast as an immoral weakness. But laziness has more to it than just lack of attitude or intent. It has physiological origins. The body of most living beings we see around us has been designed with the need for rest. On top of that, each being is wired differently with different abilities and structural nuances. Life is challenging and dealing with it takes toll differently on different people. But the expectation from everyone is the same, as can be seen in the attempts to achieve uniformity in schools, workplaces, social interactions. This has resulted in an epidemic of a cult like belief system, with deep cultural roots ostracizing laziness to be nothing but simply immoral. We are quick to judge others on these parameters. Example, homeless or a beggar must get work and stop begging. That's what we say without understanding or knowing their circumstances, their struggles. Is the person an abuse victim, an orphan, struggling with addiction, illness, or financial troubles? Not just that, we teach the same impulsiveness to our kids too. The pressure to safeguard one's reputation has ingrained a sense of guilt at the mere thought of being lazy and doing nothing. We fear being judged. That makes us to be anxiously worrying about perception management, appear busy, while seething within with exhaustion, literally struggling. It is so real, you would agree that most of us, even during our breaks, vacations, or downtime, would think of doing something to occupy us. Doing nothing makes us uneasy, guilty of wasting time. Time which could be used for something productive. There, that productive need circles back to this rooted industrial mindset that we have cemented and somehow forgotten or overlooked the idea to understand our own body and its functioning. The body needs rest, actual rest, which essentially is wasting time in our modern understanding. Most amazing scientific discoveries have been made during downtime. Example, Archimedes while having a bath, Newton while sitting under a tree, Kekule while dreaming. Acknowledging one's limitations is a choice, a reasonable action towards one's own wellness. It has nothing to do with one's moral character. Laziness and rest is a self preservation instinct inbuilt in us. Muscles and tissues need rest to heal. Simple. While some cultures may have come to see it as a weakness and spread this contagion of unwellness and overworked jobs, creating mental health issues, depression, anxiety, aggression, creating sustainable social fabric is not possible. Since human suffering is mostly internal on the surface, we have put a veneer of this pseudo virtuosity of being dedicated workers, but under this facade, it takes its toll, as evidenced in the health crisis all around us. Add to this the social media that has been a catalyst where, let's say, 100 people post only the best part of their lives or a pretentious part of it, let's be real. And that makes you want to do all those things, thus draining you constantly. Caught in this riptide, you're exhausted, even while you're on a nice vacation or a nice dinner, because you constantly worry about looking the best, eating the best, visiting all the spots, instead of actually enjoying one thoroughly in the moment. All in all, the body needs rest, the mind needs rest. There is a dire need to disengage from this unwellness culture. Focus on learning how to listen to one's own body. Prevent oneself from the data deluge, phone notification jolts that we rush to respond to, social media overdose, overexposure. We need to build filters, soundproof environment to muffle the din, the noise of constant streaming apps, channels, shows, and replace the status comparisons with self contentment. That would build the bridges, the damaged bridges, to your own laziness, enjoying nothingness, recharging, rejuvenating with quality sleep and lifestyle, creating pockets of precious time wasted scrolling that be invested with friends and family, and most of all, your own self. And then and only then bouncing back to whatever your own pursuits are. Paradoxically, this this itself sounds like a job to do, but to me, it is a top priority to be able to manage everything else before it all crumbles. As the author highlights, have compassionate curiosity first towards our own selves and then towards others. Well, guys, these are my takeaways, my thoughts. Let me know what you think of this book. I would recommend this book, a quick read, a nudge to think for your own care, for self care. Don't forget to enjoy your lives. Please share, subscribe, and like. I would need your support and appreciate it a lot. Please stay connected for the second and third part in this series. Until next time, have a good one.